The abduction of 7-year-old Somer Thompson last fall made headlines. Cable television obsessed over every facet of her disappearance, especially after her body was found in the trash. But now our own 2020 investigation has turned up startling information never heard before about a neighborhood infested with people you would never want near your children. How well do you know the neighbors who watch your children skipping by with friends or walking home alone? It seemed like a page right out of the 1950s. Orange Park, Florida was a Norman Rockwell town where kids played on manicured lawns and lined up for the ice cream truck year-round, where neighbors chatted in each other's front yards and kept a watchful eye out for trouble. This was little 7-year-old Somer Thompson's playground. They nicknamed her Grace.
Because she was so klutzy. I mean, she could not walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. But she loved to dance. She wanted to be a ballerina.
But there was nothing awkward about Somer when it came to showing her affection.
I mean, she just wanted to hug everybody. She just always wanted everybody to be happy with her.
Not surprising, then, that Somer took it to heart whenever she got teased. What does a pretty girl like that get teased about?
She had problems, like, actually with her speech, like, yiddle instead of little. And she was in some special classes to try to help her with that kind of thing, and that they made fun of that fact.
Our story starts here last October, when that teasing came to a head. Somer was walking home from school with her older sister, her twin brother, and some friends. A schoolmate made fun of her, and the two exchanged words. Upset, Somer ran off, past the other children, disappearing into the crowd ahead. But when her twin brother and older sister arrived home just 15 minutes later, Somer wasn't there. Dina, a medical receptionist, had a friend waiting at the house to watch the kids that afternoon.
I texted my friend and I said, just wanted to check and make sure that everybody made it home okay. He texted me back that Somer didn't come home from school.
That was at 4:03 that afternoon, more than an hour after school let out.
I mean, panic-stricken from the moment I got that text back.
Armed with flashlights, neighbors searched through yards, parked cars, and sheds for any
Within
sign.
hours, hundreds of residents from Orange Park, Florida were out in the streets searching. By evening, Dina Thompson was living every parent's worst fear, the unthinkable. Somer had vanished in plain sight.
I love you, and I just want you to come home. I just want you to come home.
The mystery on everyone's mind: how could this have happened without anyone seeing a thing?
Nothing. It's a bright and sunshiny day. It's 15-mile-an-hour school zone.
Just about everyone on her street knew Somer, the little girl who considered everyone a friend. This man lived more than a half-mile away, but says Somer and her siblings often chatted with him on their way home from school. They loved to play with his dogs.
Very trusting. I hate to say it, but, she was the type of person, she didn't know no stranger.
And the school crossing guard says it was hard to miss the little girl who always gave him a hug. But on that day, he says he didn't see her.
She is definitely endangered, and we do suspect foul play.
By nightfall, Dina Thompson was numb with fear. Somer was out there in the cold and dark.
She only had her little, jogging suit jacket on, and that's all I can remember thinking, is that she's somewhere cold and hungry and scared. I mean, all I could do was stay outside, because if she was going to be cold, I was going to be cold.
Through the night, neighbors kept hope alive, singing Somer's favorite song.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy.
The 7-year-old is now the center of a nationwide Amber Alert, even though there is no confirmation she was abducted.
Day 2, Dina took her appeal nationwide.
Just bring her back, okay, safe and sound. That's all I wanted. I didn't care at that point if this thing got in trouble or not, as long as she got brought back to me safe, alive.
Were you believing at that point? Maybe?
No, I can't explain it, but I just knew that she was gone.
On a hunch, one detective thought to search the dumpsters, but they'd already been collected and were headed off in 23 different trucks to a landfill in Folkestone, Georgia. Police halted the trucks en route and began sorting through 564 tons of garbage, looking for one little girl.
With deep regret and sadness that I have to inform you that a body has been found.
48 hours after Somer went missing, the world finally heard the news, which Dina Thompson had already known deep down in her gut.
All I remember is losing it. I mean, literally losing it, screaming, and later on neighbors telling me they could hear me, the shrills across the street.
Pray for her. Then she goes oh.
Within hours, police were on the trail of a monster. This house, which was being renovated at the time, was their first stop. It was the last place anyone said they'd seen Somer alive.
He says he was at this home Monday afternoon, and Somer ran up to the place and told workers they were doing a good job on the renovations.
According to reports, there was another reason police were possibly interested in this house. The rug, which Somer's body was allegedly wrapped in, may have come from the construction dumpster there.
According to these Clay County public records, Vincent Design and Bill is the
And then, what seemed like a huge red flag. One of the men working at the construction house was a registered sex offender. But the community was in for another shock. Turns out being a registered sex offender here, in this seemingly pristine neighborhood, is all too common. 162 registered predators and sex offenders were located within a 5-mile radius of Somer's home. And there are other neighbors that give cause for concern.